god, what?
I can just picture you going through a whole fucking Necopara video with no audio.
It was embarrassing, to say the least. I think I could find that video again on my old YouTube channel.
Oh god, maybe we can make a video off that, where we just watch your old YouTube videos.
Absolutely not.
What, you don't want to show the world's your playthrough of If My Heart Had Wings?
Okay, that shit legitimately made me cry. Because
God.
I finished those games and routes on my off time, and that shit made me cry, dude. It was such a good story. Leave me the fuck alone, man.
Well, speaking of people crying, welcome to Nonstop Debate, everybody.
Yes, where we get to exploit my embarrassment for the world's enjoyment.
Oh yeah, that's the J-Man. I'm D-DAWG. We're gonna talk about Leon.
Or more
Because,
commonly known as the stupid man.
yes, the stupid... What? Okay, so you know when it's like a little 2 and it's squared, and it's a little 3 and it's cubed, right?
Yeah.
What would it be called if it's a little 8?
Octillion?
We're talking about the octillion stupid man. Stupid octillion squared man. Whatever you want to call it. I don't fucking care anymore. The joke is dead. We were silent for like 12 seconds. The joke is gone. We're moving forward.
There's an obvious joke if you listen to the Japanese version where he just says baka 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 all the damn time. And there's a Hatsune Miku basically song about that. Ironically, he killed Hatsune Miku too, so yeah.
Yo, was Leon Kuwata a tsundere?
I don't think he was a dairy in any kind of fucking sense, Dylan.
He looks at fucking baseball. No, he looks at music. He's playing baseball and the music is just like, "Hey man, what's up?" And he's like, "It's not like I like you or anything, but baka." And then he just throws a fucking ball through a steel wall.
You think he would have dated Ibuki?
Honestly, yes. Yes, I do. They both had the same kind of like style. And
Yeah.
Leon was actually like passionately into music, so yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's about as far as his character depth goes, so I don't know how we're gonna stretch an entire fucking episode out to talk about Leon.
Well, in canon, that way. Because everyone's going to be like, what about the supports? And stuff like that. Boy.
Yeah, not everyone
Extra.
supports Leon.
Yeah.
Especially since, you know, he's not around long enough for you to really talk to him anyway.
I supported Leon because I was like, this guy looks pretty cool. But
Yeah.
he's got in his supports. He's kind of a dude bro, but we don't count that because it's not what you get to see. Because
Yeah. What you get to see is definitely not very cash money of him.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, today we're talking about Leon Kuwata. And
I would say he'd probably be one of the most stupidest Blackened.
yeah, for sure. He's definitely one of the dumbest fucking killers in the whole series.
Yeah. Which is not bad. Which is not terrible. He was the first killer of the entire series.
Yeah, just like Sayaka, he's a throwaway character. And that's fine. He's objectively fine.
Yeah.
Subjectively, I think he's an idiot. And I hate him.
Well, objectively, I think he's an idiot too, so.
God.
Boy, you fucking lint roller in Makoto's entire fucking room.
I always forget about that detail. He fucking lint rolled that whole bedroom. Cause yeah, dude, you fucking murder a girl in a bathroom, and then you think the first and only clue that's gonna link you to the crime is a piece of your fucking hair in the carpet.
Yeah, it's probably not the fucking obvious death sign.
If anything, it just instigated him more, because didn't they find the fucking piece of the lint roller that had his hair on it in the trash can? I
I think so.
I think they did, yeah. And if they didn't, I do know that the lint roller was a clue because it was obvious that it had been used recently, so it was like, bruh. It's so stupid. Like, literally no one's gonna look for your hair, dude. You're fine. You don't need to lint roll it the whole goddamn room.
Yeah, not to mention it. So, well, we're going way ahead, but we should talk about
We're
his
a little
design
ahead,
first.
yeah.
We should talk
God.
about his design first.
That's how we stretch the episode out, Jared. We just talk a lot of shit on Leon in between each topic.
I fucking guess the interesting characters don't start dying till chapter 2. Sayaka was the most interesting character in chapter 1, so
Yeah,
yeah.
well. Yeah, no.
Leon was the guy that they needed to fucking kill, so
Well, design-wise, honestly, I think he's pretty good.
yeah,
I
he
think
sticks
he's-
out in the cast.
Yeah, I think he's one of the better-looking characters in the series.
Yeah. Which ironically, you don't get to see much of him. He
Yeah.
fucking he dies at the same time as Sayaka. Basically.
Pretty much.
In like yeah.
Yeah. I
In
think
the
it's-
grand scheme of things.
Yeah. I think a good part of it, because a big thing for me when it comes to design with these characters is color. And I think Leon has a nice color scheme because, you know, I think red and white always looks good together.
For the
And,
last goddamn time, Dylan, his hair is orange.
well, it looks red. Fuck you. And not to mention his shirt has red on it also. So, you know, eat a dick. But yeah, he's got all the like chains and buttons and apparently a giant fucking safety pin on his jacket and all the piercings.
We don't question anime logic.
we don't question anime logic apparently.
But I mean, you're if you're gonna have a problem with that, we're gonna have a problem with Celeste then. How does her fucking hair work? But
This is the Leon episode. You really want to get into a fucking discussion on the gravitational defiance of Celeste Ludenberg's fucking ponytails?
no, not really. But I want to say though, at first glance, looking at Leon, you wouldn't tell he was the ultimate baseball star, especially when they showed the ultimate baseball star special CG artwork, and he looks completely fucking different in the CG artwork.
He doesn't even have the same like style. He doesn't even have his hair grown out. I think his head is shaved.
Yeah, like a buzz cut.
Yeah, he doesn't have any of the piercings or anything.
Yeah, he really hates baseball too.
Yep. Which is funny.
Yeah.
I think he's the only ultimate in the whole series that you meet that hates his talent. Because I can't recall anyone else actually like hating what they're good at. So,
Fair enough. Maybe
So-
Nagito on a bad day.
maybe Maki, just because she, you know, hates that she
Yeah.
was raised to be a cold-blooded killer.
Right.
But she doesn't even like expressively like say that she hates it. She's just kind of shrugs. She's just like, yeah, it's what happened.
That's
Whatever.
the hand I got dealt with.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's got a pretty great design, honestly.
Yeah, I like it.
He's just got a lot of
sticks
little
out.
things to him that just kind of like overall look very good.
He has a bunch of more defining features in a character,
Yeah.
not just the silhouette. I couldn't remember a goddamn thing that was on Sayaka, but I knew like Leon had the piercings, he had all the rings on his hand, he had the skull on his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
He also has a lot of sprites. He has a lot of very
duh.
expressive sprites.
oh no, he has he's the first Blackett when you call him out. He has like 3 different variants of yelling and like making fist threats.
Yeah. I always kind of liked his sprite where he's like holding his finger to his head and he's like got his tongue sticking out. And he's like, "What are you, stupid?" I always thought that sprite was kind of funny.
says the guy whose name was literally written in blood on the wall, pinning him to the murder.
Got him. Uh,
So Dylan, how do you think of Suichi Beta 1.0?
yeah, true. Same voice actor, Shuichi and Soda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jer was very, very quick to remind me of that every fucking time I played each game because I hated Leon so much.
You also hated Soda, so
I did hate Soda, yes. Soda's a dumbass. He's not a dumbass for the same reason Leon's a dumbass, but he's still a dumbass.
hey, at least Soda got you a net win by seeing the girls in their bathing suits.
Yeah, I guess. Leon's a dumbass because he did dumb shit when he could have gotten away with this murder, or, just not fucking murdered anybody. Soda's just a dumbass because he's just like the dude who comes up to you and he's like, "Hey man, you wanna go spy on the girls in the fucking locker room?" And you're just like, "No, I don't want to do that." And he's like, "You're lost, kid." And then he fucking like tries to skip away like a cool guy, but he trips and face plants into the cement. And then he plays it off like he meant to do that. Like, that's who Soda is to me. Yeah, and then Ibuki comes in and fucking breaks in my room for some reason.
I heard you're spying on girls in here. No.
God.
Be gone, tie-dye lesbian. Be gone.
God, now I can't get Leon and Ibuki out of my head. I'm just picturing them, like, as a ship. I don't ship characters, Jared. What have you done? What have you done to me?
This is what happens when you're in the Danganronpa fandom for a long time. You just start shipping things.
I hate it. I don't want to ship things.
Welcome to the anime world, Dylan, where
no.
your ship has to sail.
Oh no. I'll blow a hole in my own ship. I'll go down with the ship.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make the best ship ever. Be fucking Leon and Sayaka. Yeah, boy.
God.
Seeking sails all around. We really don't have much to talk about during this fucking...
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna go on a lot of wild tangents just because we don't know how to fucking carry Leon and his whole 3 sentences worth of character into the hour and a half mark. So, but I guess now's a good time to move on into his role and his talent. So,
Ultimate Baseball, first Blacken. We're done here.
Yeah, he's the ultimate baseball prodigy. He's just a really heckin' good boy at baseball. That's about it.
Yeah, and then I did some digging, right? There are Leon fans, and they say, well, he's probably one of the goodest boys. Really?
He's not a good boy. He fucking murdered somebody.
In the same game with Taka, too? What the fuck?
No one is a gooder boy than Taka.
Pretty sure it's a little secret on his, like, most embarrassing thing on the... Like, in Chapter 2, the most embarrassing thing revealed. It probably for Taka would have been like he was 3 seconds late to class and he can't stand that shit.
A teacher saw him running in the halls and let him off with a warning, and he's never forgiven himself. He gave himself 3 weeks of detention for it.
This is gonna look bad on my report card to heaven. I'm like, Taka, you're gonna go into fucking heaven with like an S++. You're not gonna get fucking deducted points because you were late to class for like 3 seconds. I am not a good boy. I'm not a good boy.
God. Yeah, that's about all we have to talk about on his talent and his role. He's just a castmate / blackened. He's a baseball boy. That's it.
Next thing we got to talk about is death or the execution, which is the only interesting thing about Leon.
Okay, yeah, this we could actually talk about for a while because Leon's execution is one of the best in the series. If
not top 3.
It's because when we were talking about Sayaka, we were talking about how her and Leon are strong because they were just throwaways. They were meant to be like really show you what you're getting into as far as Danganronpa goes. Sayaka's stronger point was the murder. Leon's was the execution.
Right.
And Sayaka kind of introduces you to like, here's what to expect when you like, you know, stumble onto a dead body that got murdered in a killing game.
Of a character that you got close to as well.
Yeah. And then Leon's is more like, here's what happens to the people who get fucking caught murdering somebody.
Yeah.
And boy, is this shit brutal.
this one, I would say, is the one that goes the hardest out of all the... Okay, maybe Coyotes goes a little bit harder, because that was
Coyotes is so unnecessary, because it's just like, alright, she's dead, and then it just fucking destroys her, and you're like, okay, she's dead, and then it does it again, and you're like, okay, stop, please, I'm already depressed. Yeah.
Fucking...
It's funny because you always mention, like, look up Leon's beta execution from Distrust before it was Danganronpa and look at how much more brutal it was. And I did go back and watch it, and honestly, it's really not that different at all.
Oh yeah, it was more to the fact that the blood was red back in the day.
Yeah, the blood was red. They took that out, and the bits of blood that you see in Leon's execution now is pink, but there's not nearly as much of it as there was in the Distrust version. That's about the only real difference. Other than that, It's the exact same.
Yeah. So. Leon's execution is still, like, I would say, it's the like, Leon as a character, not very creative, but holy fuck, will you never forget Leon's execution.
You will always remember his execution. It sets the bar for you to compare the rest of the executions to.
And it's like a solid 9.
I would say it's more like a 7 or an 8, like a really strong 7 or 8 out of 10.
Right.
Because that's a pretty basic, like, it's not awful, it's not the best in the game, but it's far, far from the worst. It's just a solid, like, here's the average, like, quality for executions, and this is what you need to kind of compare the rest to determine how good they are, you know? And there's a lot of executions in Danganronpa that are some, like, I don't really dislike any of the executions, but there are some that I'm just like, huh. And then there are some, like Leon's, where I'm like, oh, dude, fuck. And most of the ones that don't really impress me that much are the ones that are just too cartoony.
I like Terrors?
I was going to say Mondo's.
I fucking love Mondo's.
Mondo's is so stupid. It's so stupid. I mean, like, I love it because it's so stupid. I died laughing at it for like 10 solid minutes before I could finally start playing the game again. But yeah, there's some real goofy ones. Like, I think Mikan's is kind of goofy. The whole having her sit on a rocket like it's a fucking dick and she just flies off into the atmosphere.
No, Dylan, she died from a lethal injection.
Yeah, but she was sitting on a rocket.
No, Dylan, she died of a lethal injection.
What? I very clearly remember a scene where she's sitting on a fucking rocket.
Yeah, I know, but you're not getting it. She died of a lethal injection. What you saw was pretty much the last synopsis of her brain going off.
Oh, that's right. It was like a drug trip.
Yeah.
I couldn't really remember a whole lot. I just remember that one scene.
And you get to briefly see her naked.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
By the way, Mikan is fucking... Okay, wait, not really. I was going to say Mikan was Dylan's second game waifu, but yeah. I remember Sonya exists. But...
No, I loved Sonya too, but no, dude, like around like chapter 2, chapter 3 is when I really started getting it on for Mikan. I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude, let's go. And then Hajime started waking up with her cuddling him, and I was like, oh... I got
trying to kill him, dude.
I fucking fell hard on the Mikan bandwagon, dude. I was like, oh shit, I have fallen in love.
Hajime finally got to get me some Hinata.
Yeah, Hajime, that's a literal. You know the fucking Danganronpa videos when all my waifus are dead? And it's just the protag going around asking all the girls to be his waifu, and then they end up getting murdered or something like right after. That was a literal, like, in that moment, I was like, yo, Mikan, be my waifu. And she was like, can't, sorry, I killed 2 people. And I'm like, oh, that's even hotter, TBH. And then she died, and I was like, oh.
Sure you're not the one on drugs?
Yeah. I might fucking hate myself a little. I don't know.
This is about Leon. This podcast is about Leon, by the way.
This podcast is such a shit show, dude. I don't know how to fucking save it at this point. We don't know what to talk about. There's nothing to Leon to talk about. We're only 20 minutes in and we're already talking about his fucking execution, dude. God, this is gonna be a short episode. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Thank God we were gonna make it up with that fucking 3-hour podcast next week.
Yeah, Jesus, you guys are in for a treat next week.
Yeah.
See,
I guess
because we're about to move on to his character and his personality, and what are we gonna talk about?
Fucking
you can sum up his personality with like 2 sentences.
He hates baseball. He likes music.
He hates baseball and likes music, and the other sentence is stupid, 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 stupid. Or baka, 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 depending on which version of the game you played.
Yeah. I guess you could say Evil's his arbiter of his own downfall, because he's the one who pointed out the plaques were different.
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't even realize. He thought he was in a girl's room. And everyone else was trying to starting to realize it, and he was like, oh shit. God.
Fucking. Man.
Yeah.
Do we even need to do an ego theater?
It's just gonna add like an extra 5 minutes onto a 45-minute long episode. It blows me away how we had so much more to talk about with Sayaka. There's just nothing to discuss with Leon because he's just so bare bones.
Yeah.
His strength came from... Well, because there was a lot to talk about with Sayaka because they had you get to know her and they built her up early in the beginning so that you could be sad when she was dead. They didn't do that with Leon because he's supposed to be the killer. So
I think it's like Leon and Teruteru have the curse of being... Well, even then, Teruteru...
you get to know Teruteru quite a bit before he ends up fucking getting executed. So... I don't know. I feel like even then we'd have a lot to talk about because there's quite a bit of stuff to talk about with Teruteru, like his fucking pervy nature and his hair and his food and the way he pulled the murder off.
His pervy nature was his downfall at the end too.
At the end, yeah. God, yeah, I don't fucking know, man.
Even Teruteru's breakdown was better than fucking Leon's. Oh my god! At least Teruteru had an accent change. Leon just kept yelling stupid.
Didn't he? He did. He got like all Cajun.
I want to get what to tell him about that, man.
Yeah.
What are you all going on about that, man? I told you I wanted to there with the ball, man.
Oh god.
But Leon just yells stupid a bunch of times. That's like the only thing that sticks.
Yeah. You're the only person who makes sense, Leon, and he's just like, no, that's stupid. And you're like, but your name is written on the wall. No, that's stupid. But you're the only one who could have pitched your shirt into the furnace from 30 yards away. Stupid, 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 stupid. You're just like, every time you bring up a piece of evidence that confirms him as the killer, he just says stupid a bunch. And you're just like, dude, you're not even trying to defend yourself at this point. You're just shouting words.
And it's funny, you could still game over on that part, and everyone will still blame Makoto.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, it's the only time it makes sense. All the other cases are dumb.
Yeah, like, besides the execution, there's not much to talk about fucking Leon,
There's really not a lot to talk about with Leon. He's so simple. He's so basic, because, like I said already, Sayaka's strengths came with getting to know her so soon, and then her being gone. And her murder, and like the way the murder was carried out, is kind of what was strong about her. Leon's strength is the fact that he was the first blackened, and his execution is a good like bar to set for the rest of the executions. But that's it.
That's it.
You only really speak to him like once, and I think even in like the times where you're like in the gym meeting Monokuma and everyone's present, I don't think even then he really says a whole lot, because most of the dialogue goes to the more active characters.
Mondo, Taka, Togami, Sayaka, Junko,
I think even
Kyoko.
Fucking Hifumi speaks more than Leon does.
Oh my god, Hifumi totally speaks more. Hifumi was a big vital part of this case, because he had to tell you whose shift it was for the fucking furnace.
Yeah, it was his.
Yeah.
So,
Literally, like, the only thing Leon contributes to the entire case when he was the black is like, yo, dude, I didn't know the plaques were switched.
Yeah.
I thought it was, yeah, that was it. That's literally all he
Shit,
says.
man, the plaques were switched? That's wild. And then he, like, turns away and he's like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. Fuck. Yeah.
And I can't even say, like, he's not a very sympathetic character either. He loses all his sympathy just by the fact that he could have just not killed Sayaka after the first altercation and just locked in his fucking room.
We
and just
went over this last week in the Sayaka episode. He literally just, the second Sayaka locked herself in the bathroom, he could have just said fuck this and just gone back to his room for the night. But no, he had to go back to his room to get his toolkit so that he could come back and break into the bathroom and finish her off.
And then lint roll the entire fucking Makoto room.
I can't get over that. He's such an idiot, man. How many cases in Danganronpa did we stop and look for the culprit's hair?
The last one in V3. That wasn't even hair, that was fiber.
Yeah. From clothing. Oh. God damn it. Fuck, man.
I think we're already just done Impact.
Yeah. We're honestly just blowing right through this because there's just nothing to talk about.
Everything will pick back up in Chapter 2. I swear to God, trust us on this one.
Yeah. Chapter 2 is much better.
Yeah.
So, especially because we're going to start that episode with everybody's favorite fucking rich boy. Yeah. Richie Rich.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing about Togami and Trigger Happy Havoc is that Monokuma calls him Richie Rich.
I would call him Kaiba because literally that's his archetype.
I honestly can't remember if he calls him that in the actual game, but I know in the Trigger Happy Havoc anime, Monokuma calls him Richie Rich like pretty much every fucking time he's referring to Togami. It's like my favorite thing ever. You're a hoot, Richie Rich. I love it.
Everyone doing the killing game, I sleep. Boy, they're burning your money. Real shit.
Real shit. Oh, God. Fuck, man.
I guess we'll go to trivia?
Yeah, fucking, I don't know, man. We still gotta do an Ego Theater at some point. Is there anything else we can scrounge about his character?
No. No, not really.
I can't even remember what his personality was like. He barely fucking spoke. And then when he was speaking in the class trial, he just wasn't fucking speaking that much because he was the murderer.
He was always confrontational, and that was it. But it was more like a tutorial of like who the Blacken is. If you haven't figured the fuck out by looking at the numbers.
Yeah, he shows a lot of context clues for you to just look at him and go, huh, okay, got it. There's just nothing to him, man.
When your motivation is less compelling and less appealing than fucking Kyo's, you got a problem here.
What even was his motivation?
She was gonna kill me, but then that falls apart immediately.
It's not self-defense because he went back to his room and got his toolkit and tried to kill her. What was the real motive behind this?
He keeps saying self-defense, 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 and no. I think he was like, well, that's how you gotta win, man. Gotta win. And
I think he just legitimately believes it's self-defense. And when people tell him that it's not because you went back to your room and came back to fucking kill her, he's like, no, that's stupid. Fuck, man. God. Yeah, there's nothing. It's hard to get water from a well that didn't have water in the beginning. There's nothing about Leon we can really talk about, so
right.
I don't fucking
everyone's
know.
Gonna be like, oh, everyone's gonna be mad. All the Leon fans are like, you should have been his supports and shit like that, boy. You don't. if you have to rely on optional material.
It's not even that it's optional, it's the fact that most of his support conversations are after game because he dies so early. Like, there's no way you can max support Leon before, like, at the beginning of the game, because you don't get enough free time. You get what? Like, you get like two or three instances of free time, maybe 4, and you spend all of those with Sayaka because she's tutorialing you. She's your friend. She's showing you how to be friends with people before she gets fucking murdered so that you can fall into a depression when she's dead for 3 weeks.
No, you didn't fall into a depression that hard. You fell into a depression that hard when Kaede died.
Yeah, when Kaede died, I didn't play V3 for like 3 weeks, 3 or 4. It was like a month and a half. I don't really remember. It was a long time.
Alright, let's go talk to something a little bit more interesting. Cut to Ego Theater, please. I'm dying of boredom over here.
Let's just go to Ego Theater. We'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.
And now it's time for Ego Theater.
This week on Nonstop Debate, 2 grown men try to figure out how to do a podcast.
And what's our tools on our fucking hand? A piece of paper, and that's it.
It's that piece of paper that SpongeBob started on, where he's just like, and done, and then it's just the word "the" in like big fancy lettering, and then the rest of the paper's blank.
It says and it just shows a sprite of fucking Leon.
Yeah. And that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. I didn't think this was going to be this bad. I was like, maybe there's something we can talk about. Nah, this is terrible.
Apparently not, man. I don't know what the fuck. This is going to be a real short fucking episode, man.
What am I going to do for the Ego Theater thumbnail? I want to get 2 guys depressed drinking or some shit like that. I'm going to do that.
Do three drunk guys. Like 3 depressed drunk guys just sitting there drinking, and then 2 of them will be us, and then the 3rd one will be Leon, and we'll just be giving him like pats in the back, like, it's rough, buddy. It's real rough. But it's rougher for us because we're gonna have a 45-minute long podcast because you're just so fucking boring.
Leon's the definition of being the kid who's always been the participation award kind of guy.
Yeah. You know what's gonna be even more sad is the fact that we will probably have more to talk about Hajime. Like, not even Izuru Kamakura, like just Hajime. We'll have more to speak on Hajime than Leon. And Hajime is like, I know that's not fair because Hajime's a fucking pro tag and shit, but Hajime's like the most boring looking character in the entire fucking series.
No kidding.
We could spend more time on a single topic of Hajime, like just Hajime's design. We could spend more time talking about Hajime's design than we could anything that we just spoke about with Leon.
No kidding.
And that's really bad, because we just got... It's not even because there's a lot to Hajime's design, it's just that there's nothing to Leon. You can sum up every bit of our show notes. You could sum up Leon's whole character with like 2 sentences, and that's it.
His execution is the only good thing about him. And
his execution and his design are like his only strengths, and we can only talk about those so much.
Right.
God.
This is what Monokuma means about feeling true despair. I'm feeling the despair now, Mr. Monokuma.
God. Oof.
So does that mean we're back now?
No, we're still in theater. Fuck. I'm looking desperately. I'm looking on the wiki for something we can speak about. There's a whole big long couple paragraphs about his personality.
Yeah, but you never get to see that past fucking support.
Yeah.
Optional material should not be counted.
God.
Jesus Christ, fucking shit, bitch.
This episode is gonna be so boring.
Fuck me. I'd rather be doing another video edit right now.
Well, don't worry, you'll get back to it soon. I think we'll be done in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding. Fuck me, dude. And you were worried about doing this at midnight. Fuck,
I
man, we
was.
could have done this.
We did this. We recorded this episode a little earlier than we normally do because I wanted to do other things at the end of the night, and it turns out it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I figured
It's
we'd be
like-
able to stretch conversation, but
Fuck.
there's nothing.
You're asking me? Fuck no. I'm a character writing guy, and this guy has nothing.
Fucking. All right, let's just get it all out now in Ego Theater, and then when we go back, we'll just look for stuff to talk about. I already have an idea for something we can talk about.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that, and then we'll move to trivia, and then we'll wrap up.
Fuck.
Oh god.
And my suffering.
Wow, what a riveting Ego Theater that was. Amazing.
Almost exhilarating
I love
to this day.
how the conversation and topic was no different than what we're talking about already, and that's that we don't have a topic. This should be called the Seinfeld episode of Nonstop Debate because there's no point. There's no topic.
It was all a lie from the start, Dylan. Smoogie has gotten us once again.
Is Leon John Cena? Is he
We
just
can't see it.
he's just so dang clear of like anything.
I'm pretty sure we could still see him more than we can see fucking Leo.
Excuse me. I was drinking water. Because that's just a thing we do on this podcast now, I guess. God, this episode's terrible. Oh, I feel so bad.
But it's a necessary evil.
Okay, so I think one thing that we can talk about that will probably give us a bit of conversation is he's the first Blackened in Trigger Happy Habit.
Right.
And we were already
Right.
talking about him being the first Blackened compared to Teru Teru, who is arguably has a lot more character and is much better.
Yeah.
Oh god. I was gonna say who was the first Blackened in V3, and then I remembered this Kaede.
Yeah, that's not a fair comparison, Dylan.
It's really not trying to compare like person with the least character to one of the people with the most character.
Comparing Aunt Leon to anyone in V3, it's just not a fucking fair comparison.
The V3 cast is probably the best cast.
Right. Everyone's gonna be like, no, Danganronpa 2 has the best cast. Why? Because Fuyuhiko and Komaeda. Yeah?
And it just
Yeah?
shows a lot more weakness in Leon if you compare him to the other Blackens, because like even Teru Teru, you get to know quite a bit because there's a lot of conversation with him and he's active in all the like group debates outside of the trial.
Yeah.
Like he's always active in the conversations when he's around, so you get to learn more about him and you get to know him better.
Yeah.
And then even when you find out he's the murderer, like yeah, he has a breakdown, but eventually you find out it's just because
He wants to go see his mama.
no, it's because he knew Nagito was going to try to kill someone, so he was going to try and kill Nagito, and he accidentally killed Fat Gami instead.
But then at the end of the time, he went through with it because he still wanted to go see his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, there's just... You learn so much about Teru Teru. You learn a lot about Kaede before she's gone. And her death does a lot of, like, character development for Shuichi and a couple of the other people as well.
You know what Leon reminds me of?
Hmm.
Mr. Saw It from fucking Phoenix Wright. The very first guy who committed a murder. Doesn't have a personality, he just feigns ignorance, and then when he gets caught, he freaks the fuck out, goes on this wild tangent, and then once you finally corner him, he just gives up. And that's it. But even then, Mr. Sawit threw a fucking toupee at Nick, so...
God. Yeah, you just don't learn
Leon
anything
just
about
yells
him.
stupid a lot. Leon just yells stupid a lot.
Yeah, because, like, Teru, when you catch him, you figure out his motive, and that was it. And he's like, no, I would just, I was trying to make sure that this crazy guy didn't hurt any of my new friends, and I wanted to get out of here and see my mom. And you're just like, aw, dang, man. It's justifiable. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You good.
Komaeda was definitely the agitator in that situation anyway.
Definitely, yes. Because he just straight up told Teru, he's like, yo, I'm gonna fucking kill someone today. What do you think of that? And Teru's like, I think that's a bad idea. And Nagito's like, yeah, probably, but maybe I'll get lucky. And then he just walks away, and Teru's like, I must stop him. God.
Komaeda actually also sent the note to Togami too.
And then even Kaede, you find out you didn't really need to find out. You were Kaede. She just wanted to end the killing game before it could really start. So,
right.
And then when you catch Leon, he doesn't really have a motive. You're just like, yo, why'd you fucking do this? And he's like, stupid.
He's like, self-defense. And then Wanda points out, I'm like, no, it stopped becoming self-defense the moment you went back to get your toolbox and open the door to stab the bitch. And then he goes, stupid.
Yeah, there's nothing there. He doesn't have a motive. There's no depth to him. He's so surface-level character that we are struggling to find a topic to discuss about him. And we talked for like almost 2 hours about Sayaka. And Sayaka was just as much a throwaway as he was. She just has more to her because she was, like, strong in a different sense.
Right.
God, I really wish they could have, like... I mean, I guess I should cut them some slack because this was the first Danganronpa. But they should have... Honestly, they should have put more into Leon's character. Because that's partially why Kaede and Teru work so well, too, is because they fucking... even though they're the murderers, you're sad. Because you're like, well, fuck, man. I fucking, like, Kaede mainly. Teru, I was like, well, that sucks, man. Like, that sucks. But at the same time, I was like, wow, you're kind of a perv, huh?
Bone on the meat.
Yeah, bone on the meat. Yeah. But Kaede especially is like, you just don't want to, like, accept that they're the killer. And then you're just as sad when the person they murdered is gone, and then you're just as sad when they get executed for it.
I think also what hurts Leon as a character is that you pretty much know he's the murderer right the fuck away.
Yeah. And you still have to find all the evidence for it.
Right. And so you're just basically like, you're not interested in like seeing like Leon defend himself because you're not trying to fix things. You already know the answer. If you get the numbers answer is so fucking obvious to who the murderer is.
Yeah.
It's just that there's like not really much to fucking investigate. You just find out how he fucking did it, and then and then you're just waiting for Makoto to catch up, and that's literally the first case. You're like, fuck, and then that makes Leon more boring as a character. And then there are gonna be some people like, well, I didn't get the numbers right. Like, good for you, but fuck, gives it away so fucking hard.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just Leon as a character it's bare bones. He is probably I'm gonna say it right now. He is the weakest written character in all of Danganronpa.
He is for sure.
He is.
He's just like I said. He's just so surface level. Everything about him can be summarized in 1 to 2 sentences, and that's not good.
That's not very good. Especially considering that we could talk about fucking ages about Kaede, and we could go to a decent length about Teru. We fucking spent 2 hours on Sayaka. Leon, we're struggling to make it through a fucking hour.
We couldn't even make it through an hour without getting through everything about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just really weak, man.
Yeah. It's just fuck.
I mean, for what they needed him to be in the game,
It
like his
works.
role as the Black End, and like we said, the setting the bar as far as executions go, that's mainly what he was for, and in that regard he works. It's just everything else about him other than design is really weak. I will give him some
It's like-
credit, because I'm a big fan of when ultimates use their talents in their murder, and his baseball talent came in handy in the fact that he pretty much shattered Sakura's wrist with that fucking katana, and his baseball skills are what allowed him to burn, or at least attempt to
That
burn
fucking
his
crystal
evidence.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeet that crystal ball into that fucking furnace.
Yeah, and then yeet the fucking shirt into the furnace. So, I thought that was pretty good. Honestly, it also set it set a bit of a bar for me at that moment, because I was expecting there to be a lot of times where people would use their ultimate talents to like get away with murder, and it is so rare. It is so rare for people to do that.
Yeah, the next time they fucking do it was with Kumaida.
Yeah.
Well, no, Peko kind of.
Peko definitely used her talent in hers. I was gonna say fucking Kyo. Kyo definitely used his talent because he had that whole fucking ritual set up, and the scythe came from his lab. I'm saying anthropologist. A lot of the relics and things that were used in his murder came straight from his lab.
Right, included the seance and all the things and stuff like that.
Yup, the seance definitely, because the seance came straight out of that book, and the circle was modified to what he needed to use for the murder.
But then that also has a problem where you're like, well, obviously fucking Kyo murdered fucking Tenko.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious from the get-go anyway.
Yeah.
So.
But that's a whole cavalcade of fuck-ups in storytelling. It's not particularly Kyo's fault, just, well, he has his own problems that we're kind of, like, disgusted with, but we're like...
We'll get to Kyo in due time. We're
Seesaw.
probably going to make a lot of fun of Kyo, too. That's probably nothing new, though. I'm pretty sure the whole community makes fun of Kyo.
Fun fact, Kyo was supposed to be the original sprite that I was going to use for the channel, but Dylan was like, nah, I don't want to be Kyo, I want to be Komaida, and this is before he
That was
played
before Case 3 when I knew what Kyo was. Yeah, I was like, nah, I want someone more expressive, less, like, creepy. Give me Nagito. And then, that was also the point where we realized that I was lucky enough to be able to use Nagito and have it make sense. So
Yeah.
I wanted to use Makoto at some point, but then I realized that he doesn't really have that many sprites.
Yeah. Hajime and Makoto have the first game protag sprite curse where they have fuck all.
Yeah, because you only ever see them in trials.
Right.
So.
This episode's about Leon, by the way.
Yeah. BT dubs. We gotta spend the whole episode talking about other characters because we don't have anything to discuss.
Just go to fucking trivia.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be something interesting in there we could talk about.
Yeah, well, we could talk about Impact real quick. He has none.
His execution is basically...
His execution is the bar for you to compare the rest of the executions to, and it's the, like, grim reality to the characters of what is in their future.
Alright, here's a good example. Hey, quick, Dylan, tell me the personality of Alter Ego and what was his motivation.
Oh, shit. Alter Ego, fuck. He was a computer program created by Chihiro Fujisaki, and he fucking wanted to help everybody. And he snapped Taka out of his trance. He actually caused Taka to go Super Saiyan because he could mimic Mondo's voice as well as Chihiro's.
Alright, stop. Okay, talk about Ryoma.
Oh shit, Ryoma? Dude, I fucking love Ryoma. He's the size of a toddler with the voice of a fucking god, and he smokes cigarettes for some reason. Ultimate tennis pro. Monokuma could not find a single fucking person in his life that's important enough to kidnap to give him a reason to murder.
Alright, Mikon.
She's hot as fuck. Ultimate nurse. Her murder is next to fucking impossible. But shrug. Fuck it. She's fucking god, I know the word. I'm blanking. You're rushing me. I'm sorry.
Okay, Mukuro.
Who?
Mukuro Ikusaba.
Who?
16th.
Ultimate Soldier. She was disguised as Junko. She's the only Junko you actually get to meet before the fucking 6th chapter.
Okay, now talk about Leon.
He hates baseball and he likes music, but he's good at baseball. He has a pretty good design.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just went through the whole cavalcade of what the worst characters by popular demand in the whole fucking series was by, and notice that he had a lot more to talk about by all the other characters, but when we got to Leon, he summed it up in basically 5 words or less.
Yeah. He's... That's Leon, man. There's just nothing here. Yeah, we're coming up on almost an hour. So, I don't know. This is going to be a shorter episode, but you know what? We'll make that up for you, because next week is our off-topic episode on meta writing, and that shit is just under 3 hours long. So, we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the episode. Before you Sakura yourself, you fucking disgusting person. Never say that again. How dare you?
Okay, let's do this before I put myself underneath a hydraulic press, like Kibo.
Roll out last second.
I'm not gonna roll out last second.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let it fucking consume me.
Okay. Well, it doesn't consume, it crushes, but moving on. Alright, so trivia. There's not a whole lot here either.
Yeah, it's a big yike.
The first 3 bullet points are all about his execution. Due to the brutality of his execution, it was censored in Danganronpa the animation when it first aired on television. However, on the anime DVD, the execution can be seen uncensored. So that's cool.
Yeah, I knew that.
The design on Leon's shirt foreshadows his fate because it depicts a skull being shattered from a heavy blow.
I always thought he was a fucking Gears of War fan, if you ask me if I saw that shirt.
God. The execution is the same execution he undergoes in Trust, the prototype of the first Danganronpa game. Sorry, Distrust. This explains why his execution is more brutal and gruesome compared to the others. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, like if we're gonna compare, like what fucking Kaede? What?
Kaedes is just some severe ass fucking overkill.
Yeah.
Alright, Leon's former high school, LL Academy, might be a reference to Little League.
Wow, shocker, it's a baseball reference.
Wow. Wow. In the Danganronpa 1 trial version, unlike the actual bullet time battle with Leon that happens in the end of the first class trial, the player will engage in a bullet time battle at the beginning of the trial when Leon accuses Makoto of being the killer because he stutters multiple times. So that's interesting.
That would have made it so much better if you ask me.
Yeah, honestly, because then you get the freak out of the way early on, and then you've got more room to like actually, put some character in him.
Put some meat on this guy's bones. Fucking Christ! No wonder he wears so much white.
He's just
fucking bone.
He's just a fucking potato sack with a beard.
Yeah. Lay's has more fucking.
Okay, I actually did read this one before we got to trivia. Leon's English voice actor, Grant George, is married to Sakura Ogami's English voice actress, Jessica G. George. And then there's a sub-point on that. There's a sub-point on that says his actor also voices Shuichi Saihara in Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. Yeah, and that's it for trivia.
That's fucking it? Oh my.
That's it. There were technically 4 bullet points. 2 of them had sub-points. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot here, man.
You're asking me to make a 4-course meal off of peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We're trying our best here.
Yeah. But, it's nice, because fucking, Mr. Grant George got his redemption sometime later in Danganronpa V3 when he got to voice the best pro tag in the entire series.
Fucking killed it as Suichi.
He's
man.
so
Oh my
good,
God.
dude. Shuichi's a fucking goat.
Alright, let's lock this up on the fucking trivia, the fucking scale. I want to
Well,
go drink.
closing arguments. Final thoughts? He's just...
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I think that sums him up pretty well.
I sorry, Leon. You look cool. But you're
There's just...
looking cool does not fucking
Looking
matter.
cool can only last about 2 minutes of conversation in a fucking podcast, apparently.
Your death was pretty fucking. Your death was pretty fucking cool. Not gonna lie, it was very creative. You look cool. God, are you fucking boring? Plank from fucking Ed, and Eddie. Is more character development than this guy.
Oh god. I want memes. I want memes of Plank from Ed, and Eddie with Leon's face photoshopped on. Like, not his head and his hair, just his face, like his eyes and his mouth and the piercings. I want that. I want that so much. I would save that. I would make it my phone background for like a year. Oh god. Alright, well...
Leon Kuwata, more like Leon Bordata.
Get the fuck out of my house.
I'm not in your house though, Dylan.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Or so you think.
Oh wow, okay. I'm sleeping with my gun under the pillow tonight.
I took that gun, Dylan. It's now mine.
Oh no.
You can use your what? One of many melee weapons you have in your fucking house?
I have a lot of melee weapons, actually. I have a lot of baseball bats for some reason. I don't even play baseball. God. Alright, well let's give him the fucking rating, and then we'll wrap up with a little sneak peek of what to expect with the off-topic.
I give him a -1. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
Yeah, he's... I think... Honestly, I think I'd have to give him, like, a -4. Just 'cause the design and the execution alone save him from being an absolute bottom score to me. But he's still not
Fair
that
enough.
great. I'll give him a -3. We'll give him a -3. He's
Stupid.
yeah, he's just kind of a potato that committed a murder that he didn't need to commit,
Yeah.
and lint rolled an entire room that he didn't need to lint roll. God. Yep.
I didn't think I was going to be fucking hating this. I hate this.
Yeah.
I legitimately hate talking about sub-characters that don't have fucking any character.
Well, I don't think it's gonna happen again, because he's probably the
No.
only character like this in the whole series.
Oh, Izuru Kamakura, but...
Oh yeah, Izuru. Fuck.
But, at least we get to talk about his plan. At least his plan's fucking interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
What was Leon's plan? Get away with the murder? How?
How?
Lint roller.
God, what an idiot. Alright, well, yeah, that's the first case. First couple characters in Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
Yep. It started out strong, ended on with a fucking whimper.
Yep. So,
Only time this is gonna happen, because it just goes up and up from here.
yep, nowhere to go but up, they said.
Yeah.
So, next week is
We're
going to
gonna
be
have
an off-topic episode. We're not going to talk about a character. We're just gonna kind of have a little side subject to discuss. And we already pre-recorded this episode because could not stop talking about it. Yeah, we had to talk about it. So it's pre-recorded, it's ready to go, it's just waiting to be uploaded next Wednesday. And it's on meta writing, which we're heavily going to be breaking down and discussing the ending of Danganronpa V3, along with a couple of our own theories associated with the ending. So, if you guys...
And we're going to totally whore out Kokichi.
Yeah. So, if you guys didn't really like Kokichi and the meta ending of V3, well, maybe we can bring you around on it, because we think that both things were handled pretty damn well.
Yeah.
We are V3 fans.
Yeah. Well, Dylan's a fan of the 3-3 ending. I am not.
Jared personally is not, but...
I can't sit there and say it's bad. I can't. I literally can't. I say it in the podcast, but I'm going to use a different example. If you give me a jalapeno hot dog and say this is the best in the world, I'm not going to like a jalapeno hot dog. But if it's the best in the world, I'm going to eat there. I'm like, well, it's not meant for me, but if this is the best in the world, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, you guys are going to hopefully enjoy a 3-hour long podcast episode next week to make up for this short, just over an hour long one.
And know that just because we sound lifeless doesn't mean it's because we recorded these back to back. There were 2 days apart.
Yeah.
Leon just sucks the fun out of everything because there's nothing to talk about with this guy.
We spent more of this episode making fun of how there's nothing to talk about with Leon than we did actually talking about Leon. Which won't be the case next week, because next week we were pretty serious the entire discussion. There's not a whole lot of joking, it's just a whole lot of discussion, so...
And then we'll probably pick back up when we get to Togami.
Yeah. After next week's off topic, we're going to get back into the character breakdowns. We're going to start with Togami, and we're going to move on to the Case 2, Chapter 2 people.
You want to talk about Jill in Case 2 as well?
Yeah, I have Jill listed in Case 2. I think I have Jill listed... I think I have Togami, and then Chihiro, and then Mondo, and then Jill.
Okay.
Or maybe I have Jill before Mondo. I really don't remember. Yeah. She's in there somewhere. We're going to talk about Jill somewhere in Chapter 2 set before we take another off-topic break, so...
Yeah, because she was kind of very involved in Chapter 2, and it's kind of a big reveal, so...
Yeah. It's a good introduction.
Oh, yeah.
One of the more interesting characters in Danganronpa, so...
And actually lived to the very fucking end.
Surprisingly. Just like the ultimate red herring. Hi, I'm the ultimate serial killer. I don't murder a single person in this entire game.
But damn, did I really wish I killed Chihiro.
But damn, did I try.
Also, I took a bomb to the face and lived.
Fuck, I keep hitting my mic on accident. Sorry.
Stop nodding off.
Yeah, no, I'm falling asleep over here. God. Alright, well, we will see you beautiful bastards on the next episode.
Now we're gonna go get blackout drunk again.
You say we get blackout drunk at the end of every episode, Jerry. Are you an alcoholic? Are you okay?
I can't be an alcoholic on my job, Dylan. It's a figure of speech.
The inner machinations of your mind are an enigma. God.
Yeah, considering that you had to make me do 5 Raptor Chan jokes. If there's fan art of me being gangbanged by a bunch of raptors, I'm gonna hate all of you. Just FYI.
Now you know what you must do, my children. Take up your pens and fight the good fight.
Please leave. This podcast is over. Shut it off.
Bye, everybody.